How you doing? My name is Brain Smasher. You knew that when you signed up for this. I'm going to talk to you about 4 records. I'm not going to say awesome records, but a couple of them are awesome, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you listen to them after you listen to me talk about them. That's why I do this, and at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you think of me. It's the metal that I tell you about, that I'm obsessed with, that I want you to also be obsessed with. We're listening to this record right now. This is Flagellator, channeling the Acheron. Just got this in on LP last week. This is no colors release, so it's flimsy, nothing to look at, no insert, no nothing. The content and the value of this record lies entirely on what lies in the grooves of the wax. If you don't know what band this is, or why you should like this, or this is a side project, solo project, one-off project, or whatever, of Akhenaten from Judas Iscariot. That should raise your eyebrows because the man is a fucking riff master genius. So the dude moved over to Germany and recorded this sort of black thrash throwback kind of traditional record back in 2003, so 14 years ago. And the drummer he hired to play on this is Winterheart, who also played in Hinsidig, which is a great Norwegian project. Also in a band called Total Hate. Also plays in Nictalgia. So just killer stuff. But I fucking love Judas Iscariot's riffing. I really can't get enough of those last 3 or 4 releases that he did. So this is just such a welcome gem out of all the side projects and other bands that he's done. This is a huge highlight, and I'm really surprised that not a lot more people talk about this record. I've had it on CD for a really long time, but I just finally decided to pick up a copy of it on LP. Got it on Discogs for cheap because it's got a little ding corner, but I really don't give a shit. There's really nothing to love about this artwork. This, if I'm not mistaken, is this the same artwork used on Incantation's... I can't think of what it's called. The orange cover. The album came out in probably 2000 or something like that. We'll see, I guess. But the LP does contain 1, maybe 2 bonus tracks. I think just 1. And both of the bonus tracks are at the ends of side A and side B. And they're covers of bands I've never heard of and I should probably check out. But one of them is called Cloven Hoof. The song is Night Stalker. And the other is Future Tense, Go to Hell. Apparently the Future Tense song, actually both of them were from albums that were originally released in 1984, so he's definitely throwing it back here. But yeah, black thrash, fucking classic. There's some great melodicism found here and there. The songs have a nice varying style to them, so this song you'll hear is just kind of like a total Slayer beat kind of thrash. It's maybe, I can't remember which track it is. One of them has a riff in it that sounds straight off of Dawn's Slaughter Son. I'll probably try and point it out when I hear it, but Flagellator's channeling the Acheron, killer album. Check it out down below. Next I got in Winter, Into Darkness. Now you might think that I should have already owned this for years and years and years, and you're probably right, I guess. It seems like one of those classics that just everybody kind of has. But I want to say I downloaded it probably 15 years ago or something and went, meh. But, after, I've just been kind of in this mode of just making sure that I'm buying things a lot more often than I'm downloading things, for one. And for 2, just buying things that I might have missed or something that, a lot of people are hyping about, but I don't really have an opinion on, or that my opinion is so fucking old that I don't really remember what I think of it. And so, in order to give that album the best possible chance of me liking it, I go ahead and buy a copy of it. And I find that just when you have it all there, you're just saddled with a copy of the record, the likelihood that you're going to like an album and it's going to resonate with you is pretty good. However, I'm still on the fence with this record. I I guess I can see how a lot of people would consider this a classic. And this release, this is a Southern Lord reissue. It came out in like 2004 maybe or so. Lots of killer flyers and artwork. This booklet is just jam-packed with pages and pages and pages of stuff. But when it comes down to it, I listened to this album maybe 2 or 3 times all the way through, and all I could really hear was like slowed down Hellhammer. And Hellhammer is one of those bands that just is kind of alright with me. And to precurse that even more so, Celtic Frost does nothing for me. Every Celtic Frost riff and Hellhammer riff to me sounds like someone just learning how to play guitar, just learning about metal, joining a metal band and coming up with riffs in the rehearsal space and having the band go, keep trying. No, not that one. Less dumb. And so I understand that Hellhammer and Celtic Frost have influenced a myriad of bands who I love. And like early Dark Throne material, some of my favorite black metal stuff. And that stuff is just straight rips of Celtic Frost and Hellhammer. But there's enough Norwegian influence and enough influence from both Fenris and Nocturnal Culto and even Zephyrus at the time that they were writing those records, that they took that simplistic, boiled down to the bone style and gave it something for my mind to gnaw on, and I love that about it. But I don't know if it was intentional to make this like a Hellhammer sort of thing, but oftentimes this comes off to me like there's no guitar. Like I'm hearing bass riffs that are just like the underlying music to something more that should be going on. So I don't want to just like jump all over the throat of this album all day, but that's just kind of where it sits with me. It didn't really work. It's going in the collection, and I'll listen to it again in a couple of years or something maybe. Maybe it'll strike a nerve when the mood hits. But yeah, that's just where that one lies with me. Then I also got in Eternum, The Devouring Descent. Now I've talked about this record a couple times on my channel, but I love it. It's amazing. Only had it on LP at first, and so I finally decided to get it on CD since I'm a CD fucking fiend. Got a Blind Guardian disc in there. So I have these, like my playlist is like 4 or 5 jewel case CDs in my car, and I just like flip the discs around back and forth. So I'll open up a Blind Guardian, I'll find Mandatory in there or something. But this record is phenomenal. It might have been my favorite album of 2014. I don't quite recall exactly. But this is a side project of the guys from Drowning the Light, a band who I otherwise don't care for whatsoever. Awesome killer cover by Caitlin Hackett there. Minimalistic band photos. But yeah, so I don't know, take the template of what Drowning the Light is. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that group, but minimalistic, stripped down, hint of melodicism. This just kind of pumps it a little bit more forward with some atmospheric acoustic guitar work and a lot of synthesizer going on. And I don't know what it is, it just really clicked with me. And honestly, the Eternum's other albums that I've heard, not even close to as good as this one, and overall, they're just kind of okay. This one is really where it's at. This is so fucking memorable. I just get lost in the atmosphere from the intro all the way in through the second track. There's halfway where like the acoustic interlude just turns into the guitar, like this mighty guitar riff. It's so memorable, so fucking awesome. I just get lost in my mind listening to this record. So check this out. Yeah, Eternum's The Devouring Descent. First time I ever put this on, I remember I was at Austin Lund's house. I just was like, hey, let's put on a record. It's something that's probably really good. I downloaded it and we both put it on and we're just blown the fuck away. Immediately, Austin ordered 3 copies of it on CD. for him and his friends, and I got the LP. You ever order a CD from somewhere and it comes with a bug in it? From Portugal? That's probably LA to some sort of import standards or something from there. We got a Portuguese bug in the back of my Eternum. So next and lastly, I don't know if you've noticed, so in this video what I'm trying to do is talk a little bit more elaborately about each of the albums that I cover. Especially in my last video, or well, the one before it, where I covered like 30 albums in 20 minutes. And I just felt like that wasn't giving any of those albums really any justice. Now granted, I just got them in a giant box of stuff. It was a haul, kind of unboxing sort of video, so I wasn't familiar with a lot of them, but I want to kind of try and maybe do more videos with less albums contained therein, so that I can elaborate a little bit more on them and maybe offer just a little bit better content than I have been. I felt like I've been kind of in a slump creatively with my videos. My job has been just kind of like occupying my mind and just like kind of getting used to all the ins and outs of new work and stuff like that. So I haven't really had the headspace freed up to allow me to think of things to say about the albums that I had been covering in my videos. But so I'm trying to turn that around, and hopefully you'll notice. But the next one I've got here is Ulver's Vargnat. One of my favorite groups, but this one has always been kind of a sore spot with me. And like Winter, it's something that at first didn't really strike the right chord like Bergtot did. Bergtot, from the moment I heard it, I was enthralled. And the acoustic album, captivating as all fuck. And the third, Nathan's Madrigal, of course, fucking incredible. So of course I went and downloaded this demo back when it was not available anywhere but on cassette. But so this is a Kirk Productions reissue of the album, and like with the Winter album, I thought buy a copy of it before they're gone, you know, and give it a fair shake. So that's what I did. I listened to it once. I guess I'm not actually done with it on CD most recently, but I'm happy to have these band photos. This is Carl Michael, the guy who I gush about quite often. So he drummed on this demo and left soon after to start Aura Noir, who I'm hopefully seeing in October in Chicago with Merciless. That's fucking crazy. So this is Vargnat by Ulver, a demo that was recorded before Bergtot. I want to say this, from the sounds of it, now I haven't really looked up to see, it sounds like two different recording sessions. In fact, maybe I can just... Actually, no, it looks like it says it was all recorded at the same time. But the songs do sound, quality-wise, a little bit different from one another. So, upon first listen of the CD, I liked it more than I remembered liking it. But there's just a lot of sort of uncohesiveness, I would say, to the music. There's a brilliant acoustic interlude that's amazing, and it shows just the brilliance that these teenagers were capable of back in the day. However, the first two tracks or so with Carl Michael drumming on them, this, I think, is the earliest recording that I have heard of his drumming, if I'm not mistaken. He may have played on the All Evil Barog demo by Satyricon, I think, which I don't know if I've heard, but you can really hear that Carl Michael's drumming is just nuts. Just pulling in all different kinds of influences and just dressing up the music so much. And in fact, I kind of find that the music should have something a little bit more subdued drum-wise. At least that's what me, the drummer, thinks about this style. So in a way, it's a little kind of chaotic and not very cohesive as a demo. But it's a demo, you know, so I'm not asking a whole lot of it. There's only sometimes with bands, there's only so far you can go back into the creation and the beginnings of a band until it starts to just kind of unravel. And you'll find a band just kind of finding their footing and finding what styles work for them and what don't. So, I don't know, I don't really hear a lot of Berktot in this demo, but you know, I'm pleased to have another copy of something that Carl Michael played on as a collector, and who knows, again, maybe something like this will click with me further down the road. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you check out this Flagellator LP. It fucking rules. Or the Eternum, totally great. Hopefully, maybe you're already familiar with the Winter and the Olver and have an opinion on it. Let me know. So let me know what you're listening to these days. I feel like 2017 has been just kind of a mediocre year, but then again, I'm thinking, like, did I say that last year, midway through, and just kind of then discover new releases? I don't really think I'm going to do a year-end list. Maybe not one where I put as much work into a year-end list as I usually do. If you don't know, I usually do a year-end list for No Clean Singing, which is a great metal blog. But just kind of thinking, like, I haven't really been paying that much attention to the 2017 releases to be able to offer an opinion on a lot of what's going on out there. I gotta call it short. I gotta go do some errands, and we will see you next time.